Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So this is Chris from Cypher Sigma Toys, and we've had an Amazon delivery. Yes, there are two things in here. One is nothing to do with any of this channel. It's just a hook set, because you know that's what Amazon's conveniently easy for. So it's just we're just doing up one of the rooms, and I need to put a lot of hangers and frames up. So I bought, so really boring and really noisy. So as the title would have preluded to, Domo Arigato. So if any of you have, is this coming into your brains and clicking, it's the response would be Mr. Roboto. So yes, so this is the Masterverse or Masters of the Universe 2000X style version of Roboto. This was from the 2000 comics. So yes, going back, obviously the thumbnail says Domo Arigato, and this is Mr. Roboto. So in 2000X or 2002, I think it was, they brought out a animated Master of the Universe series, and this is kind of the jumbo version of Roboto. The figures that were released was a smaller version. I'll try and throw a picture up because I have the cabinet and you can see the figure in here. This is kind of a new line that they kind of bring that, and obviously they have a kind of Giants wave, so like Ram Man, Clawful, and that. So I don't want to get all of these. I'm trying to get the figures that I never got. So one of them was Moss Man, who's essentially a bit like a Beast Man, but flocked. He isn't that good. The one that this line released actually looks like the comic version, the cartoon version. So sorry, I should have showed. So there is the front of it. So there is him. Obviously, he has the cartoon little sticker to show that he's from the cartoon, and obviously Grayskull with that was how He-Man was depicted. At the side, we have his face on one side, a body shot of him from the other side, just the usual information at the bottom, and then on the back we have him obviously in a fighting stance against Bone Troopers, I think they were, and a Triclops in the top left or top right, in my opinion. And then obviously we have, as I say, jumbo line. So you have Roboto, Ram Man, Clawful, and then Roboto again. Why he's there twice. So yeah, really like the look of this. I was very, very impressed by the Moss Man that they released, which is why I went for this. Currently this was at a Prime Day deal, so Amazon Prime were having a deal. It was 30 quid, they then knocked it down to 25, I think, or it might have been 25 and change. It's almost 26. I'm in and R in, and then I was like, look, I really want this figure. You know, we never know as collectors when there will be a time where we don't have jobs or stuff like this. So let me get the bits out. So he's held in by only a few tags, and I missed one on his hand. So first off, presently I have just a Roboto card that will sit at the back of my Master of the Universe cabinet, and then with it, it basically tells you the points of articulation. The most useless bit for probably most collectors. Quite nice. He does have this little bit of plastic that sits over his chest, obviously so the bands don't break or scratch on his chest because it is clear plastic. Let me just get his feet out of it as I make a mess, and let's put everything there. So apologies, just clearing up later. So there we have Roboto. So if I move in, you can see how clear his chest is to show some of the workings. It doesn't act, any of it doesn't move. It looks like a little kind of engine. We have his head, so quite loose, so it turns left to right. It's on a ball joint. It can look slightly up and down, very much like a cop. We have the arms, so you have the joint at the shoulder, He can have a little bit of movement in and out, not massive amounts. Then we have one at the elbow for an Android, and then we have the wrist as well. No finger articulation or anything else. So just like that. Same for the other hand. Obviously different colors to match different characteristic designs of the character. He has a 360 waist. I mean, I must admit, it does feel quite loose together, but loose like you would feel. For the splits, he can go that far. So he can ride something. He can probably ride Battlecat, and then as we see, if I get the figure out of the way, you can see the back. He has his knee joints, so he can like bend. And then he has his feet, but again with the design, this is the thing when you make a figure as close to the design as possible. The issues you have is the articulation can be drawn in cartoons, but physical form it doesn't. So he has two little pegs on his shoulders. So we can add this here, which is a cannon, or is it meant? Okay, no. I feel that that's a cannon for his hand. Yep, so he can be shooting it. I think the picture, as I drop it on the floor, on the box, has it as a shoulder cannon. Okay, yep. So how I have it is it sits in here. Now, I must admit, it doesn't sit that, it sits in there, but the hole is, as I say, look, like, that's how loose it is on the right shoulder. The left shoulder, a little bit tighter. Then because his hands, the reason why there is red, I said because of the design. We should be able to take this off at some point, but I'm not quite sure which. Okay, this is where the interesting thing comes from. So he has that panel there. So the hand, I think. Okay, so there is the hand. It comes off on there, just to be aware. So it sits in this groove here. And then he can have the gun there. You can kind of see a little bit discoloration on this. I think it's the plastic has had a little bit of a reaction with something. But I mean, at the end of the day, you would want him to kind of sit like that. So he's kind of doing his mission, prowling the streets of Eternia, keeping justice in there. Obviously, can't really do anything with his hand. So that is the only thing with Lee's. I really, if it had like a little grip on his belt, he can maybe put his hand on, so you can keep all the accessories together. Otherwise, here is say Masters of the Universe. But I really enjoy this. I say I have a standard one. This will sit behind it like a jumbo version that will look great. As I say, that cannon is going to do my nutting a little bit, but I'm sure I can figure out some way to fix it. Were you a fan of Masters of the Universe? Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. Otherwise, I've been Chris from Sigma Toys, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.